Last Jedi offers plenty of twists and turns on screen, but there's one development we all saw coming. The Force is strongest at the ticket counter.
Raw, untamed power. And beyond that, something truly special.
Taking the #1 spot this weekend and breaking box office records along the way is Star Wars: The Last Jedi, bringing in an absurd $220 million in the US alone in its first weekend out. That counts as the second largest opening weekend in US cinema history. Why don't you take a guess what's first? The Force Awakens managed an even larger debut in 2015, bringing in nearly $248 million in just 3 days. And while no single foreign country has matched America's enthusiasm for the galaxy far, far away, Star Wars is still a global box office powerhouse. Episode 8 is the 5th biggest global debut of all time, pulling in $450 million worldwide.
What have you done with those plans?
Since A New Hope hit theaters 40 years ago, nothing about Star Wars has been more consistent than its box office dominance. Before The Last Jedi even made it to theaters, the Star Wars franchise had made just over $7 billion at the box office worldwide, making it the second highest grossing movie franchise of all time. But back to The Last Jedi. Critically speaking, Episode 8 meets the already high expectations set by The Force Awakens.
This movie's terrific. I had a great time. I'm gonna go see it again and again and again.
This is far and away the most jaw-droppingly gorgeous Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Apparently though, some Star Wars fans feel differently. While the Rotten Tomato critic score is very high, the audience score is much lower. The split between the two scores is generally a lot smaller. We'll have to wait until next week to see if any negative word of mouth actually affects the box office haul, but I've got a sneaking suspicion Star Wars will be just fine. On to #2. Taking the #2 spot is the only major film brave enough to premiere on Star Wars weekend. Ferdinand brought in an estimated $13.3 million in its first week out. And dropping to 3rd place is Coco, bringing in an estimated $10 million in its 4th week out. As for next week, it's gonna be a very merry, crowded Christmas at the multiplex.